when the prince was alive, at that time he was enjoying all the amenities of the life. He lived in the palace. Okay, where sorrow could not enter. Then, so the courtiers rightly called him the happy prince because he used to live there in the palace. In the palace, there were no sorrows and suffering. He used to live his life happily. Okay, but after his death, his statue was installed there on a tall column. From there, he could see the entire city and he found the people suffering from a lot of sorrows and suffering. Okay, so you have understood this question or not? All of you?
Understood, sir.
Tell me,
Yes, sir.
students.
Understood. Understood, sir.
Yeah, you have understood this or not?
Yes, sir.
That Happy Prince used to live, that he used to live there in the palace. Okay, he used to live there in the palace. He was not aware about the sorrows and sufferings. Okay, so he was. नहीं नहीं लेकिन आवाज उसके को नहीं जा रही है सर चेंज कर दिया settings को. So the question number 1 we have discussed. Yes, children. Now the second question. Why does that happy prince send a ruby for the seamstress? What does the swallow do in the seamstress house?
Sir, can I
Why
tell the
did
answer?
why did why did the happy prince send a ruby for the seamstress? Yeah, your
Because
reply,
she was poor
your
and
response,
her
children.
child was suffering from
Your voice is
fever.
not coming to me, Aditya.
Because
Because she was poor. Yeah, because she was poor and her child was suffering from fever. All the day, entire day, she used to prepare clothes. She used to prepare clothes that of the court ladies. Okay, so that they could go there in the dancing party. All the day she used to do work, but then also she was not able to earn that much. She was not able to earn that much. Her child was suffering from fever, and she was not able to provide the child orange. Okay, so that the child could get well. Is it clear to you? So when the happy prince came to know about this, he was moved a lot at the sorrows and sufferings that of the tailor woman, that of the seamstress, and he asked the swallow. First of all, she was helped only. He asked the swallow, which was there on the tour to Egypt, to stay with him and to help the lady. All of you have understood it or not? So he asked the swallow to pick out the ruby from the sword and give it to the seamstress so that she could get rid of her poverty and she could provide the required things to her child so that he could get well. Is it clear to you, students? All of you provide your response. You have understood it or not? While we were discussing the lesson, at that
Yes,
time
sir.
also we discussed this. And yesterday I created assignment for these questions. They are in the Google Classroom. In Google Classroom, all these questions are to be done by you. Okay. Though I have given only 2 questions, but you have to do all the exercise questions and you have to upload it there. Okay, students. So this is why does the happy prince send a rupee for the same stress? The happy prince sent a rupee for the same stress because she was very poor, though she was working very hard. But then also she was not able to earn that much. She was poor. Her child was suffering from fever, and she was not able to provide necessary things to the child so that the child could get well. Then children, next, for whom does the prince send the sapphires and why? For whom? For whom? For whom the king sent the this sapphires? For whom does the prince send the sapphires and why? So the prince sent the sapphires for whom? Online classes. The prince sent the sapphires for whom the prince sent the sapphires, the happy prince. Yeah. First of all, for the playwright. First of all, for the playwright, and then the young girl. Okay. First of all, for the playwright. Okay. So the prince sent the red sapphires to a poor playwright who was hungry and to called to work. He sent second sapphire to a match girl, playwright and match girl. Playwright, okay, match girl. Sapphires first were sent by the prince for the playwright because the playwright was not able to complete his drama. He was not able to write the script as he was feeling very cold. And there in his fireplace, there was no wood so that he could keep himself warm. Okay. So when the happy prince came to know about this, the happy prince asked the swallow to take one of the ruby and provide it to the playwright so that he could get rid of his poverty. And second, the match girl. The matches were dropped there in water. The girl was able to have some money and could provide to her father when she will go back at home. So the happy prince again wanted the girl to be helped so that the girl could get rid of her poverty. Okay, students. So this is question number 3. In question number 4, what does the swallow see when it flies over the city? Dear child, I am taking the class. What does the swallow see when it flies over the city? What does the swallow see when it flies over the city? Yes, swallows show that rich making merry in beautiful houses. The rich people, they were enjoying there in their beautiful houses. The rich people were enjoying there in their beautiful houses, and the beggars, they were sitting at their gate. Okay, as they were not having anything to eat. So the swallow flies over the great city and sees the rich making merry in their houses. The poor beggars sat at the gates of these people so that they could get something to eat, they could get some help, and in the dark lands, the birds saw hungry children, and 2 little boys lying in each other's arms in order to keep themselves warm, in order to keep themselves war. Okay, so this is children answer for question number 4. This is answer for question number 4. I hope all of you have understood. What is the question? The question is, what does the swallow see when it flies over the city? When it flies over the city, what the swallow sees? Okay, so all of you for the answer. Yes, students, tell me you have understood this or not. All of you provide your response, children. Yes. Okay. So then you go through question number 5 and 6. Okay. And try to find an answer. Okay. I am giving you 1 minute. You go through it. So 1 minute I am giving you. You get the answer for the next question. Okay. Why did the swallow not leave the prince and go to Egypt? Why did the swallow not leave the prince and go to Egypt? Yes, swallow was touched by the prince's kindness, so he decided to stay there. The swallow was very much touched, very much impressed by the kind nature of the prince. And the two eyes where the saviors were placed, they were taken out in order to help the people. So now the happy prince was blind and he was not able to see anything. So as the happy prince was blind, the prince was not able to see anything. So the swallow decided not to go to Egypt and stay there. Okay, I hope all of you have understood. Since the prince, I am repeating again, since the prince had given away the two saviors of his eyes, he had become blind. Therefore, the swallow decided to stay with the prince always, as the prince was not able to see anything. The swallow was so touched by the kindness and suffering of the people that he decided to stay back rather than flying to Egypt and to help the people as per the recommendation of the happy prince. Okay, students, all of you have understood it. The next children is question number 6. Question number 6. So, the question number 6, what are the precious things mentioned in the story? What are the hidden heart and the swallow, the dead body of the swallow?
Yes,
They are
and
precious
the
small and many people on the cost of their own lives. They helped people. Okay. And why are they precious? They are precious. Yeah, both the answers have been discussed. So two precious things are the statue that of the happy prince, and then the dead body that of the swallow. They are precious because they sacrificed themselves in order to help others. They helped many people on the cost of their lives. Okay, so this is children about the question answers given there in the exercise. Okay, so I hope all the questions you have understood well. Okay, tell me you have understood the story or not, all the questions or not. Okay, we have discussed all these questions from question number 1 to question number 6. Always it is very important in literature to understand the story well, to understand the theme well, to understand the content well. And if you will understand about the characters, about the story, the two important characters are one that is of Happy Prince and the other is that of the swallow. Now two stages there in the life of Happy Prince. One, when he was alive, he was enjoying all the amenities of the life. He was not aware that for some people, life is not that much smooth as he was having in his life. Okay, and they are having a lot of sorrows and sufferings. Why he was not aware about this during his lifetime? Because he used to live there in the palace, and his palace was full of all the luxuries of life. So he was not aware that there may be some people who may be having dirt of butter and bread. But when he died, his statue was installed there at a high point, and from there they used to see the entire city. And there he came to know that life is not that much smooth as he used to think. There are many people who are having a lot of problems there in their life. They are struggling every single day in order to get their butter and bread, in order to get their living. Okay, now the heart of the Happy Prince was melted. He felt very sorrowful. He felt very sad and he decided to help the people. But he was not able to do that as his statue was fastened there at the base. He was not able to move. So one day the swallow came. He requested the swallow to help him in order to help the suffering mankind, the suffering people. Okay, at first the swallow was not at all interested, was not at all willing to do this task. But as repeatedly it was requested by the Happy Prince, the swallow became ready. The swallow agreed to do the task assigned to him by the Happy Prince. And then first the tailor woman was helped, the playwright was helped, the match girl was helped. Okay. And likewise the children sleeping under the by the roadside, they were helped. So one by one all these people, and at the end the swallow died because there was very much cold. The swallow used to be there in out. So due to continuous exposure to the cold, and the swallow was also not getting that much to eat. Only the things which he used to get here and there, that only he used to eat. So due to this, his immunity became weak and the swallow died. And at the same time, as already we discussed, that the statue of the Happy Prince was covered with gold, fine quality of gold. But this entire gold was also used. It was provided by the Happy Prince for the people who were having a lot of suffering. Okay, so all this gold was taken by swallow and he provided it as per the request made by the happy prince to all those people who were having problems there in their lives. So likewise, the entire gold was taken and the grey body remained there, which looked very shabby, very ugly. Okay, the entire gold cover was taken off, and after that, the statue looked very shabby. Okay, and when the swallow died, the happy prince statue also broke into two parts. So they were thrown. The statue was sent there for the metal furnace so that it could be melted there. Yeah, it could be melted and remade. But when it was kept there in the furnace, it was not melted. The overseer was very much surprised that so far whatever the things were put, all those things were melted, but this statue is not melting. Okay, so after the repeated attempts failed to melt it, it was thrown there outside along with the place or where the dead body of the swallow was also there. And there it was thrown. And then the king asked to the god in the heaven asked its angels to bring two most precious things from the earth, and the angels brought these things: one, the heart of the happy prince, and second, the dead body that of the swallow. Okay, so this is, children, this is the story. Okay, it ended. What is the moral you are getting from this story? Only 5 minutes are left. Okay, you tell me what is the moral of the story? Yes, students, what is the moral of the story? What is the moral of the story? The moral of the story. Yes, students, I am waiting for your reply. Yes, what is the moral of the story? Aditya, Anusha, Anamika, Harshita Berwa. We must help the poor people. We must help the poor people. We must be moved at the suffering of the poor mankind. And if we will help someone, then we will also be helped in return. If we will help someone, we will also be helped by someone. Okay, as good things were done by the happy prince and the swallow, the same they got in return. They were taken to the God's abode. They were taken to paradise because they did good things and they got good things. Okay, so the thing is that we should also help to everyone who is in need of help. If we will do good, we will also get good. Okay, students. So here the class comes to an end, and in next class, we will discuss from literature the next point. Okay. So thank you, students.